Do you have a difficult relationship with your mother?
Okay then, I already hate this episode. Nope.
Mother. I just learned a new term, and I know it will help so many of us. Mother hunger.
Mother hunger. That's not just a term, that's a genre.
Meet the trauma psychotherapist who says there are 3 critical things every daughter requires from her mother. If these needs aren't met, the effects can be devastating.
I used to hold a lot of shame in thinking that I was too emotional.
No, Willow. 1,000 times no. You're not too emotional. One thing you could say about the Smith family, in general, broadly speaking, is that while they feel a lot of emotion, there's no shame in feeling a lot of emotions, but perhaps sometimes you just want to keep some of those emotions to yourselves. You know? Instead of sitting around the red table or slapping Chris Rock.
When I was going through my second divorce, I went to my mother.
And how was her response to you?
I started drinking when I was 14.
Tanika, were you ever told I love you?
My thing was just not having protection.
With who? Willow, you were an accident.
That's my biggest wound that comes out in all my relationships.
No protection in any of her relationships. On a more serious note, yeah, you can tell. You can tell Will felt that when he had that nervous breakdown and slapped Chris Rock and then started crying about having to protect his family.
It's those women that you see and you think are so strong, there's this terrified little girl underneath, and that's me.
Oh, Mommy.
I don't know what it is about every Red Table Talk episode. The cringiest bit is when they walk into the room, the 3 of them together. The 3 generations of cringe. The ghosts of cringe past, cringe present, and cringe yet to come. It's not too late, Will. You can still change. The cringe yet to come is yet to come.
Well, this is a nice mother-daughter feel. We're
I
all
know, we're all
color-coordinated.
And you are as bright as the sun.
Yeah.
I'm a walking origami, girl.
What are they saying? It's like all 3 of them want to sort of complete the other sentence, not because they're sort of in sync or anything like that. Oh God, they are not in sync. They are only listening to themselves. It's insane. You are as bright as the sun. I'm like a walking origami, girl.
I thought I would bring this flower as just continuously remembering how beautiful we all are on our journey of healing.
That's gotta be ironic, right?
I thought I would bring this flower as just continuously remembering how beautiful we all are on our journey of healing.
I assume she means as a way of continuously remembering how beautiful we all are. Why don't you just put a mirror? Just put a 3-way mirror in the middle of the table and you can look at yourselves the whole time. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter because the guests come on and you don't listen to anything they say, so it really wouldn't matter. Just remember how beautiful you all are. That's the best way to conduct your interviews from now on, I think.
A friend gave me this book, and it has been eye-opening. We all have mother wounds. Mm-hmm. We all do.
Yeah.
After years of working with patients, trauma psychotherapist Kelly McDaniel witnessed a frequent pattern of harmful behaviors in women, which she traced back to mother hunger.
I really wish they'd call it something else. Yeah, that mother hunger title, it does not sit well with me. I don't like it. It sounds like a genre.
So, Kelly, you say that there are 3 critical pillars of mother hunger.
Yes. Nurturance, protection, and then guidance.
Okay.
Nurturance is everything that involves eye contact.
Yeah.
Little girls are little communication machines.
And not so little girls, if you catch my drift. They don't shut up, do they? Hey?
Baby girls are born starving for their mother's eyes.
Wow.
So that's...
Willow's at it again. The psychiatrist is using hyperbole. She's using exaggerated speech to get her point across. Babies are not literally born starving for their mother's eyes. They don't want to eat their mother's eyes, Willow. Her reaction was, is she stoned? Is she high? Her reaction was like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Starving for their mother's eyes.
Wow.
So that's part of nurturing. Touch, holding, cradling. The more we hold our babies, it literally grows their brain.
I was obsessed with cuddling as a child.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, many times babies are left too long, often in a stroller, when all they want is the constant touch and holding. So touch deprivation that comes from forcing independence, which really started back in the 1920s with a behaviorist who thought we could train babies like we train dogs.
Yeah.
Right?
Jada and the mother seem to be pretty clued up with this behaviourist theory. The 1920s thing. Like dogs, yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, is that not how you do it?
In 1920, leading behaviorist Dr. John B. Watson conducted one of the most controversial experiments ever to prove that babies could be trained like animals. Watson then created what he claimed was the foolproof parenting method, the basics. Never hug your child, never let them sit in your lap, shake hands to greet in the morning. A pat on the head is allowed if they've done an extraordinarily good job. And to get them to sleep, babies should be left alone to cry it out. At that time, Watson was extremely popular. He was the president of the American Psychological Association and wrote a best-selling parenting book that continues to influence generations of parents and pediatricians.
Whoa.
That doesn't really work. I mean, it works because
Right.
babies will adapt, but they will be starving and deprived underneath for touch.
Yeah.
And that touch deprivation is easily transferred into needing and wanting more sex because that's one way we get touch needs met, right?
That makes so much sense.
Not looking at anyone in particular.
Yeah.
Babies unfortunately get labeled, oh, she was a difficult baby. Well, what made her difficult? Well, she cried a lot. Oh, so she wanted you?
Right.
And so I think we really have to turn around what this good baby thing is. All babies are born good.
Yeah.
They're all in agreement again. That's nice. All babies are born good? I don't know. I've seen some documentaries. I don't know. Some people are. Jeffrey Dahmer.
And you can't spoil a baby.
No,
There's no
exactly.
such thing.
No, and I love that you brought that up because the real definition of spoil is to leave something on a shelf to rot.
Yeah.
So we spoil our babies when we leave them alone too long.
Wow.
I can't help think that Willow is imagining a baby literally rotting on a shelf from the reaction.
We're saying
Love that.
what we know.
I don't mean to shit on what might be genuine enthusiasm for what is, to be honest, an interesting conversation, or at least an interesting guest. Let's not get carried away. But getting into the semantics of a word, the word spoil, words have more than one meaning, right? Okay, we understand that when food is left in the open air, it spoils. But when we use spoil to do with children, we're talking about making them capricious, right? Giving them too much and demanding nothing of them, which is also bad. You can spoil a child, of course you can spoil a child. In fact, making a child spoilt in that sense of the word, not leaving them rotting on a shelf, but giving them too many things and demanding no good behaviour from them is what creates antisocial personality disorder, if I've watched my YouTube videos correctly.
When Willow was becoming a young woman, I was like, oh no, I want her to know I'm her person.
Yeah.
To guide her through her emotional development, her physical, sexual development, her everything.
The sexual and the physical development, I always felt so, like, open and accepted.
Yeah.
Because you never made me feel like you hadn't been through something.
Right.
And and I feel like a lot of moms want to keep this kind of like picture perfect look of themselves even to their own daughter.
Well, sometimes I think some women have a lot of shame around.
There was so much taboo around sex back there.
Exactly.
But I understand too, for me, what my mother's experience was.
Yes.
So she was just trying to keep me from making the mistakes that she
And
had
you were
made.
trying to keep me from making the mistakes that you made. And I decided to bring you close.
Yeah.
You made mistakes, Grandma made mistakes, I made no mistakes.
Show you that you didn't have to deal with our misguidance. You know what I mean?
Misguidance and overprotection.
I love that you mentioned overprotection, though, because as women, we all know what it's like to walk down the street and have our car key ready out.
Right.
We're wired to know we could be in danger. We're going to overprotect our daughters.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I don't mean to be that guy again, but believe me, men know what it's like to have their keys ready. Granted, we're probably trying to avoid different things, but yeah, I used to get my keys ready. And I'm not stealing this bit, right? I heard a comedian say this, but I absolutely did it. I used to put my keys between my fingers thinking, you know, if someone comes at me, at least they're gonna feel it.
My thing was just not having protection.
Yeah.
It's feeling cheap now to make jokes about the protection, but I think I'll just mention Willow. I'm so glad she's on this program. Like, some say she contributes nothing. That could not be further from the truth. She is the main reason I watch this. So young, so little life experience, but so much wisdom.
That's my biggest wound that comes out in all my relationships. And I've looked for craziest kinds of like protection, and I don't have a really good sense of like what's safe and what's not.
Right.
Oh, come on. This isn't even fair.
I'll tell you why. The environment, it was my addiction. She found her security through my mother. Right? And but mommy died when Jada was 13. When mommy died, that's when my addiction really took off. That's a really important time to feel secure and safe.
And that's when your womanhood starts.
Yeah,
Okay, Willow. I feel sorry for Willow. She is young. I just wish she'd sort of talk a little bit more like a 21-year-old than a 14-year-old. But whatever, it's okay, it's fine. The rest of this video is actually surprisingly good, the rest of this episode. And I didn't find the rest of it funny or cringy, actually. Well, I say that, yeah, it's always cringy with those three. But I have to say there's some interesting conversations with the rest of the guests that come on and stuff, and with the psychiatrist. And it's quite emotional, a lot of it. So, well done, I guess. They put on a good show. You know, I can give kudos when it's merited, when it's deserved, and yeah, there's really not much else to laugh at. It's just a load of women crying about how terrible their relationships with their mothers were, which really isn't. It's really not that funny. So yeah, I think I'm going to leave it there.